I've been using this ORRO standing desk for the past couple of months. Always wanted a standing desk, and I've got a lot of thoughts about transitioning from a sitting desk, one that I custom built with a solid top, to a standing desk, which I need for my personal health for 2026. It's kind of the journey that I need to take. So far, I'm really in love with this one. I'm gonna run through some of the pros and cons of a standing desk, what makes ORRO special, because if you're in South Africa and you search for standing desk, they come up a lot, and there's not a lot of videos about them, and I thought I would make a video. I'm going to show a little bit of the setup process, some of the reasons why I chose the Pro model over a few of the other models. Right now that you'll see on the ORRO site, they've got a Pro model, they've got a Home model, and they've got an Eco model. Each of them have different specs for different situations, so I chose the Pro frame. I even got the desktop as well. I just wanted to see what that looked like, and yes, I really like it. In fact, I actually want to see if I can get something that matches it for a keyboard tray underneath or something, because it's a good looking top. I was kind of torn between this and the Home Plus. The Home Plus has got quite an interesting configuration where it has a side table that fits into the leg of the table. Unfortunately, you can't buy that separately, although I would love to be able to. So ORRO, please, that would be a great thing to be able to do, because you might want some of those benefits of having a Pro frame, but also having, you know, that extra side table on the side. That modular approach is something I don't see a lot of in the standing desk market, like globally. And the other reason the Pro sets itself apart is that it's running Wi-Fi, which is something the other models don't do. And I wanted to be able to have that access because we do have a smart home, and I do use Home Assistant. I can integrate it with Home Assistant and use our Stream Decks, for instance, to change the height, and I wanted to play with that and see what the benefits are. This one might not be for everybody. There is an Eco version, and the Eco version has a load bearing of 80 kilograms, which is pretty good. It's not that much lower than the 100 kilograms on the Pro, and it's like nearly half the price. So it's up to you and how you like to use it, but they are really affordable, and that's kind of what like sparked my interest with them initially. It makes standing desks quite attainable. Setup was really straightforward. There's very clear instructions in the box on how to set it up. I do recommend that you flip over the page and see the instructions on the other side. That's something that I was like, wait, half these instructions aren't here initially, and then I realized that I just had to turn over the page. That's on me though. You can assemble it on your own, but I do recommend having a friend around or a partner to help you lift it onto the tabletop upside down to screw the actual table, like do the finishing touches. It comes with some cable management, which is helpful. I've used that cable management a little bit unconventionally because we have a lot of other cable management solutions that I've had to implement, and those work really well. I've even used the frame to hide some of the cables from the front. Again, our setup's a little bit different, right? They're sets. We film in here all the time. Gotta look clean. I even got Jess one. I've used her old tabletop, but she has one in white and I've got one in black. You know, just a little yin and yang in the setup. The other recommendation I have when setting it up is to tighten the bolts as much as you can. When I did my first round of setting up on my one, it appeared to be quite wobbly. I didn't know what was going on. And I know it is a little bit wobbly because I have a very strange configuration over here. I've got this Cougar monitor arm that kind of cantilevers over the front, but is weighted on the one side. So it's bound to have some kind of give. I've got teleprompters, mic arms, and lights screwed to the table. Not everybody's gonna have this. I did expect some form of wobble, especially because it's a stand-up frame with 2 legs, but there was an unusual amount of wobble, and that boiled down to the fact that I just didn't tighten the screws properly. You need to just get in there and tighten everything as much as you can. Also, once you have set it up, and this is why you need a friend to help you, there are adjustable feet underneath each of the legs. There's one in each corner, 4 in total. Friend is advised to help you lift it up a little bit and screw that so you can get it completely straight on your setup, because no one's floor is 100% straight. Once I had done all of that, we have a rock solid table. It's a little bit of wobble, but not annoying. Maybe if you're banging the desk, if you're playing a lot of like intense video games, playing a lot of Valorant, and you're just like throwing things around, don't do that. Just don't do that in general. I have a lot of patience for that because I know I've made it very difficult for a table like this using the hardware that I've got. If the wobble really bothers you, but you really need the health benefits of a standing desk, I don't think there's going to be a much better setup than this than a 4-legged desk. They're going to be hugely expensive in comparison. And just make sure that you've got a monitor that is sitting on the desk or clamp to the desk in the center. Make sure that your weight distribution on the top of your desk is as even as possible, and that's going to help the most. At first I was a little frustrated coming from a desk that had zero wobble because it was locked to the ground. I kind of cooled down and thought about it. It's like we've got to have the correct expectations to expect a standing desk with motors in it that goes up and down to have zero wobble and pay really affordable prices for, I think is a little bit unreasonable. So I see it as a little bit of compromise that I need to have for my health. This isn't an ORRO specific problem. This is a standing desk across the world specific problem. The hardware, rock solid. The software is pretty cool. This is just the nerdy part of me, and if you understand me, you want to hear all of this. On the interface on the front, it's a digital interface, it's capacitive touch. You can choose and memorize 3 orientations, like 1, 2, 3, either sitting, standing, halfway, whatever you want to do. But because this is a Wi-Fi one, you have the capacity to add it to your phone through the app. Now there is a smart home app that they recommend that you use. I'm using the Toya app because it's working on the Toya platform, and that integrates very well with Home Assistant. Home Assistant is our smart home system. It's an open source smart home operating system. Love it to pieces. Love the fact that ORRO are using software that can integrate. It exposes a bunch of the functions, which are called entities, over to Home Assistant, which you can manipulate or toggle using your Home Assistant dashboard or whatever other interfaces you have. Mine is the Stream Deck. Of course, there's the app, and you can do a lot of these functions inside the app as well. So you don't ever have to interface with the capacitive touch. Initially, you can set up your maximum height, your minimum height. You can set up and memorize each of the steps through the app on 1, 2, 3. And then when you get to your desk, you can just press 1, 2, 3, and it will be the settings that you have selected inside the app. If you have a complex environment, I highly recommend setting a minimum and a maximum height. That's for a couple of reasons. You may have a situation like in Jess's setup where her shelf is above her setup, and she's got the key lights, and you don't want the key lights to bump the shelf, right? You don't have to worry about that because you can set that height as a maximum height. And the same when it gets lower. If you've got a big PC tower or pot plant or something that's below the desk, or a toddler, so that if the toddler's in the room, it doesn't hit the toddler on the head on the way down. This is different from saving your preset heights on the 1, 2, 3 buttons, because those buttons are the ones that you will use that are predetermined. So like a sitting position, a standing position, and another position if you need it. The height limits come into play when you are toggling the height for whatever reason for a specific situation, and you forgot that there's a shelf there. It creates an invisible line that the table will not go past no matter what setting you have set it to. In the app, there are 4 memory functions, not 3, like they are on the interface, but I think even 3 is too much. You need a sitting and standing position. A third one is a luxury. It's like maybe you have a filming position if you've got a camera mounted to the desk. I don't know what you do with the 4th one, to be honest with you. There's collision detection, and you can change that sensitivity in the app. So you can have it like just really push through that object to get to, which I don't recommend, to get to that height position, or you can make sure that it has a collision detection that is consistent where no one gets injured. Remember the whole Tesla thing with the boot going down on someone's finger? You don't want that situation with your desk. There are other stats inside the app that you might want to use, like see what percentage of time that you're standing. That's also super helpful. Cable management has been pretty easy with this. What you're going to need to do is, if your PC is not attached to your setup, you need like an umbilical cord that runs through to the desk. And I've managed to kind of put everything there, even the lights. I've got these amazing cable trays. They are also a South African brand. These are actually designed in South Africa. Shout outs to Dylan Rosso for putting me on these guys. It's like the wetsuit. This is a South African invention. How cool is it? It works really well with the desk, and I'm able to like lay these cable trays in such a way that it hides everything, and they're still adjustable and usable. If you're looking at them from underneath, it looks like a mess, but just calm down. Okay, who's doing that? This is a really good purchase. If you are someone in South Africa who has seen ORRO on Takealot or on the website or wherever, Amazon.co.za, whatever, and haven't seen any international listings for ORRO, don't stress. ORRO is great. Actually, they are a South African brand. They're South Africans that run it, which is cool. There's a South African engineer that's done a lot of the designing of the hardware. It's not dropship nonsense, essentially. And I'm very, very happy with them, and we're going to be using them for a very long time. This is a semi-long-term review, I guess, for a couple of months. We'll see how the motors continue to work or whatever, and I'll probably contact ORRO and see if we can get more products to showcase for you. We did get the ORRO monitor mounts for Jess, because we had a Vara mount on the wall, which we have to now remove, because a wall-mounted monitor is not going to work with the standing desk. It's just going to bump the monitors. The monitors have to move with the desk. So I've got the ORRO ones, and they look awesome. Jess is very stoked with that. I also want to address what it's like moving from a still desk, sitting desk, to a standing desk, just to temper some expectations. You know, someone like me who's ADHD gets super excited. We're gonna go on a health and fitness journey 2026. We get the standing desk, we're gonna feel healthier. But what often happens, and what happened with me, is that you actually feel tired more often than not while you are working. You're trying to maintain like a good posture, you know, arms tucked in, shoulders tucked in, arms 90 degrees, and you're working, but you're like hopping on one foot. That's not how people stand, right? We hop on one foot, we move around a lot. We get tired, and then I go back to the sitting position, and I go, well, what was the point? You can't think like that. It's kind of a miniature exercise in and of itself. You are busy working your muscles as you are using that standing desk, and your time standing is going to be very short when you initially get it. But the goal is to increase your time standing as you use the desk. The longer you stand through a project, the better it is for your back. If you have the right posture, remember, you've still got to put in work into correcting your posture. But once you start building the strength in those muscles, it becomes easier and easier. It's already easier. I can sit through an entire edit now, stand through an entire edit right now, and not have to switch to sitting position. It's a good thing for you to understand that, so that you aren't disappointed when getting a standing desk, because I think that is going to be most users' initial disappointment. For some people, that sounds scary, but it's worth it in the long run. 2 months, what's 2 months? 2-3 months in the long term, to have better posture, to have better physical health, and the potential to upgrade. If there's anything you'd like to know more about this ORRO Standing Desk, I've shown you a little bit of Jess's one and my one. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions. I'll try to answer them. I think it's really cool. I think it's cool that it's a South African brand and that it's affordable and that you can put any top on it that you want. I'm really going to keep an eye out on ORRO for a few products. I'll see you in another video. Cheers.